Oh, howdy lads. It's been a hot minute now, hasn't it? Oh my goodness. Well, for those who are unfamiliar, and perhaps myself need a bit of a refresher, it's your boy Flux. Man, it feels good to be saying that again. So, last time I checked in on yous, I was a broke, unemployed little boy, desperately hoping I would become a sick, nasty swag tuber. But no, that didn't happen. I became a bartender. And then, in just under 2 years, may I say, I became a general manager. So how's that for a bit of pizzazz? So, obviously I've now left that, I'm back at university, and I thought, how do I make the most of all of this free time I have before the cacophony of deadlines loom over me again? And ta-da, here we are. So, I like pints, both pouring and drinking, so I thought today, while I've got a bit of time to faff around, let's make my top 10, in the view of a bartender. Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
Alright, coming in at number 10, we have Camden Hells. To be honest, when I was putting this list together, I thought there wouldn't be enough British beers to satisfy the flag shaggers out there. So, here you go, here's one for you guys. So, Camden Hells is a solid all-rounder. It's nothing really fancy, but it's reliable, it does the job. It's always a decent, crisp pint, it's always easy to drink, but that said, it's always a bit overpriced, which kind of keeps it from getting any higher for me. Also, just to throw it out there, I own one of the OG Camden Hells pint glasses before they went short and stubby, so, gives it a little bit of boost in my book. So, overall, a decent pint, little bit pricey, but it's always worth including, and that's why it's at number 10. Also at number 10 is Keir Starmer, but I don't think he's going to be there for very much longer. Okay, let's go. Number 9, it's a Cruise Campo. There was a time back in the day when this was always my go-to pint. It's quite a nice, light, golden sort of colour, and it comes with a funky little distinct glass that's always pretty hard to miss, so what's not to love? Plus, it's advertised as a proper Spanish beer, even if, let's be honest, it's probably brewed in some factory in Birmingham somewhere pretending to be Madrid. But I wouldn't be disappointed if I walked into a bar and saw this on tap. It's a solid, refreshing choice. However, with such a strong lineup coming up, and with it creeping close to £7 round in London, I've had to switch it up a little bit, it deserves its place at number 9, but as well as Camden Hells, it's just a bit pricey nowadays, isn't it? Okay, coming in at number 8, we've got Asahi. Ooh. It's a gorgeous beer, and once again, I've managed to nab myself one of the glasses. Always fun. But it seems to be quite rare nowadays to find it on tap, but when I do, it's pretty frickin' sweet. Also, just a random off tangent, it's quite fun to have in Wagamama's because it comes with like a shot of Midori in it. They call it like the Green Samurai. So it's like Asahi and then Midori, and it looks pretty cool in the light, I can't lie. Although, hot take, okay.
Oh, no.
Don't hate me for this. This is a very hot take. While I do enjoy this beer, let me just throw that out there. I'm pretty sure if you were to remove the Japanese branding, it would kind of remove a lot of its relevance.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
People wouldn't talk about it in such high regard if it wasn't, covered in Japanese branding. But that's a hot take. That's you guys decide on that. Next up we have Estrella, and now, once again, I have one of the half pint glasses here, and it is genuinely one of the cutest glasses I have ever seen.
Oh shit, here we go again.
It is adorable. Estrella's got a nice colour, and it's obviously sexy glass. What's there not to love, eh? But no, it is a smooth beer, it has a crisp taste, and I could definitely see myself sitting on a warm beach somewhere. In this scenario, I actually like the beach, but I could see myself lounging in a sunbed, just sipping on one of these ice cold beer at number 6 is a Korev. Now, for me at least, this beer just screams Cornwall, and honestly, it's one of the most confusing beers I've ever had, right? When it's done right, absolutely gorgeous. It's smooth, it's crisp, and it's one of the nicer pints I've had. But I've also had it served to me completely flat, like so flat it was actually vile. One of the very, very, very few pints I couldn't even finish. And you know, I walked in all chipper to the pub, ready for a nice beer, and no, my morning was officially ruined when they served me that disgrace. So, you know, it's brilliant when it's on form, but purely due to the experience I've had to put it in at number 6. But yeah, enough said before I start having flashbacks of that. Oof. Okay, number 5, it's Hogarten. So, this one definitely earns its spot, but obviously, you know, the name kind of goes hard here. So, for me, it takes me back to Budapest, sitting outside the St. Stephen's Basilica, sat with one of these on hand, absolutely unrivaled vibes. Genuinely, some of you guys might relate to this. The only thing that I think may even get close to topping that feeling is stumbling across an elite scenic pissing spot. Come on, you guys know the one. Right, okay, number 4, I've put Stauparamen / Prava, or Praha. Hear me out, these two beers are almost exactly the same thing, and if I ever see them on tap, they're my go-to at the moment. They've also seemed to become quite common in pubs at the moment. They've kind of exploded in popularity like Cruz Campo did earlier last year. And you know, obviously, when they're made in Czechia, they're gorgeous, and it doesn't quite get to the same sort of vibe as it is over here, but nonetheless, they are a very, very solid choice over here. Okay, we're getting serious now. We're getting to the heavy hitters, the top 3. So, coming in at number 3, if you've ever been to the pub in the last, ever, really, it's Guinness. It's always Guinness. So, always, you know, Guinness is more than just a pint. Well, it's stout, actually, if we're getting technical. But no, it oozes Irish culture. No matter how busy the bar was, when I was pouring a Guinness, I always made sure to let it settle. The pour can really make and break a Guinness, and I always refused to serve a shit one. When it's done right, one of the smoothest, most satisfying, creamy sort of pints you can ever get. Just a fun little story. When managing, and even when I was just normally on the bar, I would always make sure I watched just how my team would pour a Guinness as well. I had to teach so many of them how to do it properly, because as I said to them many times, when it's done right, it's perfect. But no, it's not just about the taste either. Guinness is a staple. You find it in pretty much every pub across the UK, whether you're in a craft place, a Wetherspoons, a properly old boozer, and hey, even hipster cocktail bars, you know. Guinness is always there. It's versatile, it's consistent. Weirdly enough, it kind of brings people together. Like, it's always a big talking point. There's always, you know, the splitting the G challenge as well, which is always fun. And there's just something comforting about it. It's kind of, if it's not in a pub, you better run, really. While it may not be the most adventurous choice, it absolutely earns its spot in the top 3. Right, okay, I didn't think I'd be saying this either, but coming in at number 2 and taking the silver medal, it's Hawkstone. Now, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said that Hawkstone was just one of those classic celebrity gimmicks, you know, slap a famous name on it, make it all rustic and artisanal, and hope that no one mentions that it actually just tastes like arse. I've always thought it was going to be one of those vanity projects. It kind of gave me the same vibe as, you know, here's a tequila from someone that can't even spell agave. Or worse, let's make a whiskey for lads who punch holes in walls and lose their court cases. And so going into this, I kind of half expected it to taste like petrol and controversy. But no, it's actually really fucking good. It's a very recent addition to my list, but it has truly earned its stripes. I genuinely can't commend Jeremy Clarkson enough for making such an incredible beer. It's crisp, it's fresh, and it doesn't taste like any beer that I've ever tried before. A proper pint that hasn't just been made to extort cash from a fan base, and you can tell that the people actually care about the brewing side of it, if that makes sense. Now, all I need to do is get my hand on a couple Hawkstone branded pint glasses. Okay, coming in at number 1, my personal favourite beer, my go-to, my Shayla.
Oh my god, my Shayla!
It's Jubel. And you know, it's not your typical top pick, but for me, if I see it on draft, I'm getting it. Every single time. No second guessing. It's just one of those pints that has never really disappointed me at all. Obviously, my go-to is peach, which is just outrageously good. It's fruity without being too sweet, just like me. Refreshing without tasting like you've necked a Fanta, and somehow manages to feel like a proper pint, rather than tasting like the filth that is the creation of IPAs. They've also got other flavours too. They've got mango, they've got grapefruit, and they're all banging. But peach is the MVP here. Honestly, if pubs had loyalty cards for it, I would have definitely earned a free keg by now. But let's be honest as well. It's the kind of pint that makes you forget that the pub cubicles looks like a Jackson Pollock painting gone wrong. But yes, thank you very much for listening to my pub rambles. I would love to be able to do more of these, like top 10 cocktails, top worst pints, all that fun sort of stuff. I'm going to try and see if I can get back into this a little bit when I have the time and sort of, you know, just have fun with myself. Well, wait, you know, that kind of came out wrong, but you know what I mean. So that would be very fun. Obviously, if you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Why not? 100%. Leave a comment saying, "Oh, Flux, you know, I want you to flux me. Fuck it." All that sort of fun stuff. And for the meanwhile, it's been your boy Flux. Peace.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.